Welcome everyone to episode 31 of Bucs UK TV, and this is a special one, as you'll tell by the introductory credits. This is our 33rd Club Awards. Every year, almost since our inception, our members have voted and across a number of award categories, and this is the Hollywood glitz and glamour, as you can see, from David, Phil, Pete, Adam and Alex. No expense spared. We've brought out the red carpet, and the after show party is going to be epic. So that's what we've done. If you want to have a look at who the award winners are in the past, go to our website bucsuk.org and click on awards, and you will see there. Our members have voted, and obviously lots of members voting for lots of things. Rather than have a short list of a dozen people for, say, Offensive Player of the Year, what we've done is we've reduced each award category down to a short list. So my panel members do not yet know the shortlists, so they will be reacting live, and we'll see if they agree with the winners as voted by you, our members. So then, before we move on to our first category, we should thank you. Of course, this is the most votes we've ever had, because it's the most members we've ever had. So thank you everyone for voting. It's really great. And obviously this is your award ceremony. So, join in on Twitter, join in on YouTube and Facebook, and comment, see if you think we got it right. Wisdom of the crowd and all of that. So our first category is the Offensive Player of the Year. The nominees for Offensive Player of the Year are Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Tristan Wirfs. So, Adam, I gather you're quite pleased with that shortlist then?
Oh, definitely. I'm happy Wirfs made it. I thought he could have slid by the side somewhere, but no, I'm glad he's a nominee.
Not often the offensive line gets some glory. I was thinking whether we need a Lineman of the Year award, but you know what? I think that they're getting some good attention. Pete,
Definitely.
you're a Wirfs fan as well. Did that shortlist look about right to you?
It does. I'm surprised that Gronk's not on there, because he made such an impact this year. I'm surprised more people didn't go for him, considering 2 touchdowns in Super Bowl. That's quite a big feat. But I'm surprised that Wirfs is on there. I'm glad he's on there, because he was unreal this year, and he's he got snubbed with some of the Pro Bowl and stuff, but our fans of the members have shown that he deserves to be in there. Yeah, definitely.
He's worthy.
Well, let's see. Don't hold your breath yet. Alex, I think some of us were surprised to see Mike Evans in there. Do you think that's because I was going to say? Do you think that's because we've been watching the games?
Look, I'm going to be a cheerleader for Mike Evans. He's my favourite player, so I'm thrilled he's in there. And also, look at what he did this season, breaking the record, the NFL record, and having 7 consecutive seasons of 1,000 yards or more receiving. I'm not surprised he's in there at all. Definitely a good shout for Bucs Offensive Player of the Year.
And Phil, all year long, you've been telling us about Brady and the effect he brings. The members have agreed. He's made it to the shortlist. Do you think he's got a good shout?
I think he's a button-down winner here. He's got to be, as far as I'm concerned. You got to ask yourself one question: would we have won it without him? That's all you got to ask. But I'm like the other lads. Wirfs is well deserves of that shortlist.
And David, Godwin, the guy broke some fingers and he's still shortlisted.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he came good when it mattered. I think the way the whole of the offense played this season, everybody had spells in the limelight. Evans, fantastic, 7th season, 1,000 yards, but he missed a few games. Rutin wasn't there early in the season, but he really came good. Again, Godwin missed a few games, and they used him a lot differently this year. They didn't play him so much downfield, and he was really effective on a few more short yardage plays. So he did a good job, but we mixed the offense up so much. You have to say the 2 most consistent players on offense was one, Brady, when he got going, and as everybody else said, Wirfs. Allowing 1 sack in the entire season was just amazing.
Rookie, brilliant.
Rookie,
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, phenomenal.
Fantastic. And of course, Godwin, at the time of recording, has just been given the franchise tag. So it's clear
Great
players
move.
think quite highly of him.
Great move, yeah. I mean, and it's looking like that was the right move to do because obviously there's some salary cap restructuring that's been going on with some contracts from what we can gather from Twitter and Instagram. So it looks like tagging Godwin has made it possible to re-sign the likes of Lavonte David and hopefully, fingers crossed, Shaquille Barrett might re-sign. So we've got to watch that space as well.
I know we needed Pete to go and do the internet searching so we all knew what a void year was on the contract. I mean, there's an industry in itself, this salary cap stuff, isn't it? Cool. Okay. Well, there you've heard it. Phil reckons he knows the answer, but let's see if he's right. The Bucs UK Offensive Player of the Year is Tom Brady.
Yeah, not surprised.
Yeah,
not surprised. Yeah, I voted for him as well. I'm sure most of us voted for him. So
as soon as you say, would we have won it without him? It almost answers itself.
Yeah,
you can't argue at that point.
No,
no matter
not
how
at
much
all.
you like everyone else.
Yeah, not surprised.
Do you think he's a deserving winner then, Phil?
Oh, yeah, every single time. I've always been a massive fan of Brady because I like players that give it all, give everything they've got, and he does,
So round of applause for Mr. Brady.
Absolutely, yeah, fully deserved.
Absolutely. He's converted everyone. I don't think there's anyone left in the Bay Area that isn't, Brady
I've
fans.
got notes here, and all you people said when we signed him. It's all down here.
Oh no.
And I'm sending it off to him as well. Yeah.
I don't think I said anything bad.
I've always admired you, Phil.
Cheers, mate. I can't be bribed.
Phil, you're superb. One of the best people to ever run Bucs UK.
Yeah,
Keep it up. Great job. Love it.
Thank you very much indeed. Yeah.
Definitely don't look like a bingo caller.
Cheers.
Not at all.
It's the story behind
1
it.
and 2. Mr.
I was just
Brady.
going to say that. It's Tom Brady.
I look like a bingo caller. Have you not looked in the bloody mirror? One's got his tie, but his bow tie around his navel. The other one's got it all around his larynx. Crikey. God damn.
Moving swiftly on. Otherwise, the longest award ceremony known to man. So next up, we have the nominees for Defensive Player of the Year. And the nominees for Defensive Player of the Year are Shaquille Barrett, Lavonte David, Vita Vea, and Devin White.
Go on, 45.
So surprised Antoine Winfield's not made the cut there. I thought he would have been a shout for that because he's been phenomenal. But of course, those four thoroughly deserve to be the nominees. But Antoine Winfield Jr., what a season he had! Rookie season as well, just like Worst did on the offensive line. Both of them amazing.
No, I'm slightly surprised to see Vita in there. Slightly surprised. He didn't play much of the season.
I have to disagree with you, Adam. I think
he made a big impact.
That's what I mean. Look at when he came back, the difference he made, particularly to Shaq as well. Because who was it? Gary, I think he gave a stat on one of the previous podcasts about Shaq's sacks compared to Vea being in, compared to him not being in. So I think I'm not surprised to see Vea in there at all, personally.
I am. I'm very surprised Paul isn't.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I can't believe it. And it's all right. People saying how good Barrett is, but like Gary says, if Vea wasn't playing, then he wasn't much of a threat. No, no. I'm very surprised. Very surprised.
If Vea doesn't rock up in February, do we win the Super Bowl?
Don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think he's that important to this team. Sorry, David. I think he's that important to this team. Vea made. Yeah, I do. I think it's disagree with you, Phil. Sorry, it's disagree with you completely. I think Vea is that important to this team. Don't get me wrong. The guys who filled in were fantastic, but Vea is just a different animal.
I don't think it came down to one person.
Sorry,
I don't think the whole Super Bowl win came down to just Vita being on the field or not. we had great rotation with McClendon and with Rochers, Nunes and stuff. That I think we had it covered. We were still winning games without him. Like I say, I'm surprised that he's been included. He did have a huge impact, and he is a massive player for us. That I want to always have on the team. But we I'm surprised he's on there because we did do well without him. We did cover the ground.
Yeah, I mean, until he came back, we were getting pressure, but we weren't hitting the quarterbacks. And he allowed that extra effort where actually it allowed Shaq and JPP and that to get loose. And I struggled to think actually how much extra bit of time would there be on quarterbacks in that postseason if he wasn't there. He certainly did make an impact coming back.
Yeah, well, let me put it to you this way.
I was just saying, when it came to the Super Bowl, we schemed them to perfection. That I don't think it mattered whether Vita was in there or who was in there. We just had them shut down.
Well, the thing is, how many times have you seen the quote MVP of the Super Bowl, Todd Bowles? It was a great team effort, but I always think that you've got Paul. You imagine you're standing there and there's Paul and Sue on the other side. You want to go home, don't you? You think I'm not playing here,
Galston doesn't get the recognition he deserves either.
No, he's dead right. So I think it's a massive, massive team effort.
Yeah, what I was going to say earlier is going back to would we have won the Super Bowl if Vita wasn't there? If we didn't win the Super Bowl and Vita only played 5 games, would we include him in this category now?
No.
If we didn't win it and he only played 5 games, he wouldn't be in the. So that's the angle I'm coming at.
Well, luckily, that's an alternative reality. We do not have to.
That's right. I can shut up now.
Yeah.
Cool. So, anyone going to call it? Anyone going to point to the outside of the stadium and say who's the winner is?
Devin White.
Devin White.
Devin
45.
White.
Let's see if they're right. The Bucs UK Defensive Player of the Year is Devin White.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Well done, Devin White.
Come on, 45.
Really deserved that.
Come on, yeah.
I was good to say 4 and 5, 45.
Yeah. I mean, what a season Devin White's had as well. He's captain this year. He's led that linebacking core with Levante David. In fact, he's led the whole defense with Levante David. Absolutely deserves to win that. Like we say, it was a team effort, of course, but this has been just a standout season for Devin White.
And a bit like we were talking about Godwin win the franchise tag, already Levante David's been re-signed. So again, interesting. I'm sure they're talking to Shaq. I mean, these things don't happen in isolation, but locking up David was clearly key as well.
Massive, that partnership. We've got such a great team of partnerships. Brady and Gronk, Sue and Vita, David and Devin White. We've got so many good partnerships that we need to keep on board.
Such a good point that is. Everyone, there's a good double team everywhere on the pitch, even on the offense, like with Evans and Godwin. You just keep going on. JPP and Shaq is such a good point that is, Pete.
Rojo and Fournette even came good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're our team of twos.
Yeah.
Read an interesting comment by Fournette to say that although he didn't play much, but McCoy was a big part. He was there to coaching them and talking them through it. Because let's face it, Fournette's not that old, and they both of them have played massive tribute to McCoy, saying what a great mentor he's been throughout the season. And he was suited and booted for the Super Bowl, wasn't he? So he's got himself a ring.
Brilliant team
Sadly,
player.
I think he was the only player that didn't get on the field, though, wasn't he?
Yeah. But I'm not surprised Devin White's won this. The energy he brings, he's on it. He's just driving everyone. You saw him on the sideline talking to, even the offense, geeing them up of going, come on, let's get some more points. Yeah. He just has energy through and through to get the wins.
He's the perfect player you want on your team, and he scares the opposition. And he's got your back on your team. He's like the ultimate teammate. Brings loads of energy. He's fantastic.
When you hear the trash talking, it's brilliant. When you hear him trash talking to players, I love it.
He's just the I think he's the all-round linebacker. He's got speed, he's got power, he reads the game amazingly well. I don't think there's a line in terms of his age, and because he's still a very young player. Find me a linebacker who's better than Devin White at that age. I don't think you will. I think he's the best in
he's
the
only
league.
going to keep getting better.
100%.
I think a lot of credit as well for Devin White's success has got to go to David, though.
Oh, absolutely.
I really do.
100%.
I really do. A player the second year doing what he's done is incredible. And but Levante David, you can see it on the field. They've got the high fiving, they're hugging each other. It's great,
Yeah.
They get little competitions between themselves, don't they? Keeps it edgy.
Yeah. And it's great that relationship can continue. And I think Devin must be watching our show, because obviously I was criticising him all year long in coverage. So he comes up with an interception in the Super Bowl.
Did he call it as well? I mic'd up. Didn't he say I'm going to get an interception or something?
No, that was
the
other game in.
Was that the NFC Champ?
Green Bay,
Was that a championship game? Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, and he was saying, Kieron Hines, you watch this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Devin White dominated the voting, but his horse came second.
You're right. This one was won by a landslide.
Yeah.
So let's then move on to our next award, which is for the Special Teams Player of the Year. And it may or may not surprise you, there are not 4 nominees this year. There are only 2.
2?
Is that it? Is that all?
The nominees for Special Teams Player of the Year are Bradley Pinion and Ryan Suckup. Long snappers are great, but they don't tend to get many votes.
No.
I thought Mickens was in with a shout for refusing to take a fair catch all season.
Bradley Pinion being a nominee, does that mean someone actually voted for Bradley Pinion over Suckup?
Many people nominated them, so they get into the shortlist.
Wow!
Oh, well done, Bradley Pinion.
Yeah, fair play. Yeah.
But you're right, David. No one voted for Mickens. No one even knows the name of the long snapper. No one's looking for the gunners. It's all about the glory kickers.
Well, fair play to Suckup. He's not Mr. Insignificant anymore, is he?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, at the end of the day, we've got a kicker. Now, that may sound like a normal to most NFL teams, but to the Buccaneer fans, it is a massive, massive statement. We've got a kicker.
Massive worry he's not coming back, though, isn't there?
Well, fingers crossed. We'll see.
I hope so. Yeah. I hope we do everything we can to keep him.
I think he'll come
back. That
consistency.
You want that consistency. Everyone wants that consistency in a kicker, and he has got that consistency.
Well, you can't go to a better team.
Right in thinking that Pinion's paid more than Suckup, though. Didn't you get a better deal?
Oh, I don't know. I've got no idea. Yeah, okay. I don't know.
Because I think, as you say, Pete, I think they're both at risk. Flight risks. Just because they're, I don't think either of them in, say, the bottom half of league salaries. And if we're trying to penny pinch and shave off the excess, then they're visible targets, aren't they? What do you think, Adam?
Well, about the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we bring them both back. 100%. If there's no better team they can go to at the moment with the world champions or Super Bowl champions. So I really hope we can get them both back. And as far as Suckup has gone this season, he's put a sense of calm over us watching the games, which I haven't seen since I've been watching them. Like I say, all season, you don't even watch the kicks anymore. You're just almost guaranteed to go over.
It used to be the Doctor Who effect, didn't it? You'd be behind the sofa when the kick was on.
I know.
You'd always worry. You'd always worry. It's we've got a kick. Doesn't matter whether it was just a little chip kick or longer. You would always worry that you were going to lose the game because we had 2 missed kicks.
We've never seemed to have a consistent kicker ever. And
until now,
until now, it is true. You start reeling them all off. You think no, Grammatica probably, but
would we have won the Super Bowl without Suckup?
Yeah,
that's a good question.
That's a good question.
That is the one player that you can rest the whole Super Bowl on the back of and say the whole season without him were there times, because if there were a couple of games that we were close, who did he miss 2 kicks against?
It was towards the end of the
against
season, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was the Falcons, wasn't it? Wasn't it
He rewrited the ship against Detroit. No, sorry, he missed against Detroit, and then he had the Falcons game to rewrite it.
It was one way or the other. Yeah, one way or the other. Yeah.
Because we're all saying we hope he gets that out of his system and he gets back to his consistent form.
Yeah.
Mind you, he'll come back. Mind you, the way the papers are talking and all the media and everything saying that they're going to restructure Brady's contract, sign all these players. They're going to end up playing him $25 a week at this rate over the next 165 years. You know.
Has Evans' contract been has his contract been reconstructed?
They're looking
at extending his deal, aren't they, for another year to sort of spread the money out? But we'll have to see what happens on that one.
Okay, so how do we think this one's going down?
Suck up.
Yeah, I agree with Pete. Yeah, I think Suck Up's got this one.
If it's not Suck Up, I'll eat this hair bobble right now on camera.
Hang on a minute, I just need to go and do some editing.
Vote, recount.
Yeah, recount.
You're not willing to put your beard on the line then, Adam?
Nope.
The Bucs UK Special Teams Player of the Year is Ryan Suckup.
Yeah, there we go. Well done, Ryan. Yeah.
I think, Suckup, points, all-time points scoring leader record, whatever it is, for a year. Most points by a Buck in a year. But a little moment of silence for Bradley Pinion, because I think on kickoffs he's been really solid, and we've played a lot of teams that have had some dangerous returners, and every time it goes out the back of the end zone, that's another sigh of relief.
He's got a lot of punts inside that 10-yard line as well over the season. So Pinion's been really good, but it couldn't. Let's be honest, it was always going to be Ryan Suckup winning this one, wasn't it?
I think we ought to do though is actually go back over the podcast all season and see if Kieron's been saying that about special teams all season, shall we? Just so we know where we're coming from on this one.
I don't think I've had many bad words to say about Suckup this year. The rest of the special teams, that's why there's only 2 nominees, Phil. The rest of them I filed. Okay, so another category where there are only 2 nominees next is the Rookie of the Year award.
Oh, this is going to be tough.
Yes, really hard category, this one. I don't know about the others, but I certainly know when I was casting my vote, it took me a long time to decide between 2 players in particular. I'll let you guys decide.
Who the 2 players are yet.
I'll let you decide who these 2 players are that I'm talking about.
Could be Sean Vaughan.
Tyler Johnson.
Who knows?
The nominees for Rookie of the Year are Antoine Winfield Jr. and Tristan Wirfs. It is indeed, yes, it's Wirfs and Winfield. Who's got the biggest W to eat this year? David, what do you reckon?
Yes, but it's got to be Wirfs. Like I said, we've just raved over him when he looked at the offense, and the fact that Brady got that, Wirfs has got to get something out of this. He was just absolutely amazing. Winfield, you can't knock him. He did everything else that you could ask for him, but I would aim for Wirfs on this one.
Phil?
Yeah, I tend to agree Wirfs. Mind you, I voted for Winfield, but to be quite honest, for one reason and one reason only, what he did to Tyreek Hill in the Super Bowl. That'll do for me. You got that swung it for me. I mean, this is a real hard one. I've never seen 2 rookies come onto the Bucs team and so have huge impact straight away. And it means it solidifies, the O-line, for years to come. Well, this time last year, we were saying, the O-line, we've got to do something about the O-line. And we did. And look what happened. And we're now lauded as one of the best O-lines in the NFL, albeit, we've got Gronk there as well, but it's not the point. They protected Brady towards the end. And it was incredible.
Well, we had nearly 70 votes cast, and this was the closest category decided by only 3 votes.
Wow. I'm not surprised. It was so hard to choose between the two. As I said already, it took me ages I did vote for worst at the end, but my goodness, it was close. I really ummed and ahed over this for a while.
So with bated breath, we'll reveal the results. The Bucs UK Rookie of the Year is Tristan Wirfs.
Wow.
It is.
Round of applause.
That was a tough one. But well done, Tristan. But yeah, that was a tough one.
He might not have shown up as much, but that's the reason he won, isn't it? Because he didn't show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You couldn't ask for a better season from a rookie player like that than to only give up 1 sack and to help lead us to a Super Bowl win. I'm shocked that Winfield didn't win it just because of the comedy factor and the fact that just because of the momentum that sort of has given everyone. I think that should be the statue that's going to go in One Buck Place. Yes. I think that needs to be no players, just him doing that. That is the pinnacle moment of everything that everyone still remembers from it.
I think it shows that they've had influence in different ways. So Tristan, has been that rock on the end of the line, almost to the point that you can forget about them, and move on. Winfield, it seems like he's already turning into, a little bit of a leader back there in that back 4 or back 5.
Definitely.
Same as Devin White, the energy he brings, just a lead by example guy, and it's easy to see on the pitch. He's flying everywhere. But can you imagine the pressure on Wirfs' shoulders going into this season, trying to protect Brady and only letting up 1 sack? Oh, God, what a performance!
He's gone up against some awesome players as well.
Really good players, really good. I mean, I remember everyone, not from a Bucs perspective, but there was a lot of other NFL fans who were having a huge go at Wirfs for not doing anything against Khalil Mack. Well, I'm sorry, Khalil Mack is one of the best defensive rushers in the game. Any player is going to struggle against Khalil Mack, but you look at the other players that Wirfs has come up against, he has been absolutely outstanding on the end.
It really has.
The thing is, I go back to when I've always said, you look at the beginning of the season and look at the protection Brady was getting, and as the weeks went on, it got better and better and better, and all the O-line stepped up. Everybody, yeah. I mean, my favourite's Ryan Jensen. I think he's just absolutely great.
Yeah,
fiery character.
Tenacious.
Yeah. And one thing, I know we're talking about defense, but I just want to extending what Phil said there about the O-line. Phil was saying about how we need the Nets player to step up and how Brady had that in New England. I think we're starting to see that now with us, or certainly the O-line that we had last season. Nets player up and we managed to protect Brady. Absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, Stinney and Haig, they've all come in at various points, haven't they, and done the job.
Indeed.
We lost Kappa, didn't we? And we all thought, this is going to hurt, and it didn't, in all fairness. But I've got to say, go back to Gronk. When he started helping the O-line out, that's when things started to turn. It was we had, I think, I can't remember which game it was when we had problems, and then Gronk just disappeared. Well, the reason Gronk disappeared was because he was helping the O-line out. I think
it was the Chicago game. We had a lot of O-line problems.
I think it was. And he just disappeared the next game, and that was it. That's what happened. So,
I remember reading that they hadn't got the communication on the line together at that point. That's why they were struggling early on, because they weren't they hadn't had enough time to sort of learn not the technique. They call it like almost like a dance, isn't it? Like the steps that they've got to do.
Well, exactly. All these new players that turned up in Tampa Bay, no pre-season, very little training camp, and we had to figure it all out. And you could see as the weeks went on, they just got better and better and better. Just ask Kansas City; they'll tell you.
and all of those linemen are coming back next year. So
we've heard of playoff Lenny. What about playoff Donovan?
I know, it shows how relieved we are of Donovan Smith's now coming back and how well he did, didn't it? So but a huge relief to know that the line's going to be back as one whole piece next year.
Well, you're right, Adam, aren't you? Because we towards the beginning of the season, I don't think we pulled many punches on Donovan, but
nope,
he did it, didn't he?
We were quite mean in some points, I'd say.
You should have heard his last season if this was bad.
Yeah.
Tell you
And it's fair to say, Donovan, if you keep winning Super Bowls, we forgive you.
Yeah. We can talk about playoff Lenny, but playoff Donovan, he was outstanding for those games.
He was.
And if you ever go to a game and see the size of him, I definitely forgive him. He's a good lad. Very good, yeah. He's huge.
Punch his knee off.
So our next award then is the NFL Player of the Year. So this is looking across the league as a whole and who we thought really stood out. The nominees for NFL Player of the Year are Tom Brady, Derrick Henry, Aaron Rodgers, and Alex Smith.
Ooh.
So, Brady, Henry, Rodgers, Smith.
Alex Smith, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Reasons.
I didn't expect to see Alex Smith from there, but I can understand why, because obviously his comeback was sensational. So the Alex Smith one surprised me, but I can see why he's on there.
Who's the guy who went a green jersey? Who's that guy?
You were at his retirement party.
Smodgers.
Insert clip of his dance here, right? Is that?
Dunk.
There we go.
McCringleberry.
And I think it's interesting as well. You got three quarterbacks, so shows what Derrick Henry's been doing for his team.
Yeah.
Well, he's a one-man team, isn't
he? Yeah, definitely.
Tennessee.
I'm not sure we're going back, but I think this is the first time I can remember a Buccaneer being nominated in this category, making it through to the final. Often, there's been the odd vote here and there, but clearly that shows how much we all love Brady.
You can't deny what he's done, can you? No one could deny, to come into the Bucs 1 year, go on to win the Super Bowl. It's just immense.
But I mean, who was it who said who's the guy in green, Adam? So is Brady better than Rodgers? Does Brady deserve the award over Rodgers?
Definitely this year.
Why?
Because he won the Super Bowl, and he's a Buccaneer.
Yeah, he's a Buc,
and he's a nice guy. Yeah. He doesn't celebrate with McCringleberry. He just does it normally.
Well, it's because he's a leader. It's as simple as that. Yeah. He's led our team, and there's can't say much more about him than that.
I mean, what do you think about Mahomes not being in there?
He did get quite a few votes, as did Devin White actually as well. But yeah, I mean, Mahomes. Maybe it's because everyone's voting after watching the Super Bowl.
I mean, even the Super Bowl, he had to run a lot, but if he had some players that could catch, it would have been a different story.
Or maybe just some Velcro on the helmet.
Yeah, very true.
But
thankfully he didn't.
We could sign that onto the history book. So
I really hope Brady wins this one. I really do.
Let me put it this way, David. If Brady and Mahomes were the same age, who would you want as your quarterback?
Well, now it's obviously Brady, isn't it?
There you go.
Yeah.
But then it's not all about Brady. It's a whole team event with Brady. He brings everybody on, doesn't he? And that's the difference at the minute. Is Mahomes is fighting for his life himself, whereas Brady's just got 52 players around him, all working in the same direction.
What do I keep saying? I keep saying about them talking about the like Dak's contract and stuff. Every other quarterback is getting these huge contracts. Brady's always restructuring his to take less money, and he's winning the Super Bowl, and all these players are, getting these ridiculous figures, and they don't win anything.
Selfless.
Yeah.
And he can throw a Lombardi across a river. It's brilliant. He went up in my estimation after that.
That was terrifying watching that, though. My heart was in my mouth when I saw him do that.
Who believes that was the real Lombardi trophy?
No,
yes, definitely.
I don't think. I don't. But
who believes the players didn't know that at the time?
yeah.
I should have worn my Tipsy Tommy T-shirt.
Oh yeah, have to get it on afterwards.
So who do we think?
Probably Brady. I hope it's Brady.
I'm going to be different. I'm going to go Derek Henry.
There we go. So let's find out. The Bucs UK NFL Player of the Year is Tom Brady.
Yes. Come on, Tom.
Not only is he our Offensive Player of the Year, he is our NFL Player of the Year.
Oh,
MVP in every way.
Deserved.
Had to be.
I mean, look how he's changed us offensively. You can't argue that, can you? You know, Phil, as Phil said, he's a winner. He's got that winning mentality. He's brought that into our offense, and look at what he's done. Yeah, amazing.
We've all seen the pictures of him coming off the boat. As Kieron said, on his, he's going to see him for most days when he looks in the mirror. But did you see the next day? Next day, there he was with his trainer.
Yeah.
Working out again, getting going again. He's had a day off. Simple as that. And back.
He's human. Let him enjoy it. Brilliant.
But can I just say something about Brady? I mean, I've followed him. I've been a big fan of Brady his whole career. There, I've said it now. Come out. But ever since, I was lucky enough to be in New Orleans when he won his first Super Bowl, and I've followed him ever since. And have you ever seen him smile as much as he has this year, though? He looked like he's really, really enjoying himself down in Tampa, The bit in the Super Bowl that stick with me was when Jensen got that penalty. He's pointing at him and Brady's laughing his head off in the back. I've never seen Brady do that before.
No, well, Brady said, didn't he? He said, football's fun again.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. What a lovely thing to hear.
Sometimes players just need a new start, and maybe Brady had got to that point with New England. Maybe he just needed a fresh start. And I'm not complaining. He just won us the Super Bowl, so I'm not complaining if that was the case.
I think the way he looks after himself, the diet, the training, the stretching, the pliability, the drills, the prep, the mental side, the reaching out to the team. He doesn't need someone barking at him. He is going to be his own harshest judge. Well, having a coach that can make it fun for him, that's a whole new lease of life.
Did you see that thing about when he signed his contract and Jason Light said to him, "What do you want?" He said, "I want the cell numbers of every single one of our receivers." No, that was it.
That leader from day one.
Exactly. That just showed what he was going to bring. That attitude that he showed from the get-go. Absolutely.
Well done, Tom.
Fantastic.
I think it's funny hearing Cam Brake say how nervous he was meeting him at the school when they were going to meet up. Cam Brake was nervous to be up with him.
I think they all were, weren't they? I mean, you just hold him. He's such a massive, he's up there, isn't he? And
legendary status.
But he'll be even more up there next year. Again, so he's the leader. He's the father of the team.
What's the next animal up from goat? Was he the rhino or
giraffe? Or something?
Yeah, that's it. Head and shoulders above everyone else. That's it. He's the giraffe.
Yeah.
I just need to work out what the acronym stands for now. Brilliant. So that brings us on to our two most prestigious categories. The first of which is our favourite Buccaneers player. The nominees for favourite Buccaneers player are Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette, Devin White, and Antoine Winfield Jr.
Oh,
okay.
So there's some love there for Lombardi Lenny.
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
Yeah,
along with Mike Evans,
really well.
Antoine Winfield, and Devin White. So two players on offense, two players on defense, even split. Clearly they're all contributors, weren't they, Phil?
Yep, all of them in their own different way, at different times during the season. Lenny only came on towards the end, but what a difference he made. And Mike Evans, as much as people say, well, he didn't catch this, he didn't do that, but he was double teamed, all the time. So yeah, I can see where those are,
And remember, this isn't necessarily about, this is our favourite player based on, a whole combination of performance and off the field or leadership or, the stuff that doesn't show up in the stat line.
Yeah, but see, Devin White again, just absolutely sensational.
That's why I was surprised to see playoff Lenny on there because, this is favourite player. This isn't running back or offensive player, this is your favourite
Yeah,
player.
I'm surprised.
I didn't get the feeling of that much. Not that there wasn't love for him on the forum and from the fans and stuff, but you never felt anyone really, call him as their.
He came on
very,
very strong towards the end of the season, though, didn't he? He really did. You just need one player to step up, just to that a final push, and he was probably one of the most important players in the playoff run. He sort of stepped up and did the job.
I got a theory here. I think Mariana voted for him about 15 times.
Yeah.
I think
it is.
No surprise that Winfield's
Mariana Worthy.
Yeah, I mean, I would have sort of originally thought David, but again, Devin White is taking over him now.
Well, the other ones that nearly made the cut, there was JPP, Godwin, David, Gronk, Cam, Ali Marpet had quite a few votes as well. So this was one where a couple of more votes and you would have made it to
I can't believe that
final round.
Gronk's not getting more love from people because he's got the personality as well as he does it on the field, and then off the field with the the stuff that he gets up to, he always has everyone laughing. That Tommy and Gronk thing that they were doing on the Bucs was hilarious. But so I thought maybe he would have got more love, but yeah, obviously not.
And we talked obviously about Winfield, but I think you mentioned Evans, Phil, and the fact that he was so covered. He didn't moan at any point in the year, did he?
No.
Still got his 7,000, 7,000th yard.
Yeah.
He played injured a lot of the times as well.
Yeah, you forget that. Both he got injured for the beginning of the season and all that. And as did Godwin,
made
really.
the catch.
Yeah.
We restructured his deal as well, so we can re-sign players as well. Shows he again another player who loves his organisation. He's my man. Mike Evans, my man. I'm thrilled to see him on there. Hope he wins.
such a selfless player.
Really selfless.
Always gives 100% and never complains about anything. Whether he catches one pass, no passes, 10 passes, he's the same guy every time. He's brilliant.
And for those of you been out to Tampa after the game, he stays longer than anybody, talking to fans, signing autographs. He really is a great guy off the field as well.
And actually, if this was, last year or the year before with some of his temper issues, shall we say, or some of his pushing off, I think he's really tidied up his game, actually. So, so on the field, off the field, Mikey, we love you. It sounds like we're all pulling for you. Let's see whether you manage to pull it off.
Come on, Mike.
The Bucs UK favourite Buccaneers player is Mike Evans.
Well done, Mike.
Yes, Mikey.
Get him, Mike. Well done.
Yes.
Well done.
Well done, Mikey.
Brilliant. Fully
Well
deserved. Fully deserved.
So if anyone's going to be in pewter in the new statue, it's going to be him, biceps bulging, right at the front.
Or doing the walk they did the other day.
Yeah.
So I was speaking to Brian Ford about that, and I was saying about the he needs to build quite an extension in the reception of Advent because, where you got the old Super Bowl with 8 or 9 players and Gruden, actually this is a total team effort. How's he going to get 53 plus coaches in that statue?
Yeah.
Small statue.
I wouldn't like to be the person making the decision on who's going to be in that statue. That would be that way.
They'll have to do like a terracotta army style. Everyone just lined up in a row.
Brilliant. Rank and file. Which then brings us to the highlight of the ceremony, the biggest, the best award, the one we're most proudest to award on behalf of our members. It's the Buccaneer of the Year. Now, this could be off the field, could be on the field, could be a player, could not be a player, could be a fan, could be anyone in the community, someone that just really gives off everything that it means to be a Buccaneer, that spirit, that competitiveness, but that warmth. So let's see who's made the shortlist for Buccaneer of the Year. And the nominees for Buccaneer of the Year are Bruce Arians, Todd Bowles, Brian Ford, and Jason Light.
Come on, Brian.
So this
Brian's
is
the one
off
for
the
me.
Fold. Oh yeah, I've read them out, and you're all calling out Brian. So Todd, Bruce, Brian, Jason. I mean, that's a team, isn't it?
That's a team.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind the ones that put in the cleats on.
No
It's
wonder
gotta
we
be
won the
Brian.
Super Bowl.
You say, Pete, it's got to be Brian.
Yeah, because we're doing the voting. Obviously, the access he gave us was unparalleled, and it was so good.
For those non-members watching, just explain what Brian means to this club.
He means everything. Yeah, the like you say, the level of access that he gives members and the time that he's willing to give up for our members is, like I said, it's unparalleled. You won't get that at another club. The times that you lot have all met him and been in his company, and the friendships that you've all got. Like I say, I've never heard of that through any other NFL club. Have any of you heard?
It's very special, isn't it? And David, that warmth and that friendliness, I think we cherish, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, Brian is an absolute class act. He cares so much about the organisation. He cares so much about everything doing right. And he actually cares so much about the fans. And the relationship that he's built with Bucs UK since the Buccaneers first came to London has been absolutely immense. And, he's just got so much time for everybody. And you think someone that high up in an organisation to be able to spend the time with us fans and, all the way through the playoffs, even the day of Super Bowl, to actually engage with us. It's just, you will not find that in any sports organisation in the world, let alone just the NFL. Absolutely incredible. He's just a total top-class guy.
He's like one of the lads, isn't he? He comes on as a speak with us, talk with us. Yeah. He's just as excited as we are, and you can just tell how much he cares about the fans and us specifically. He loves us, and we love him. He's brilliant.
Yeah. I think that if we had to sit down and write down or talk about all the things Brian has done for us, we'll be here for a very, very long time. Like it's one after another. Always says, "Well, we'll sort your tickets out, lads," and he always comes through. He's always been very, very loyal to the Bucs UK. He never had any questions about if we ask him anything. He's just one all nice guy. Really is top man.
But this isn't a foregone conclusion. Let's run through the others as well. Alex, Jason Light.
I mean, look what Jason Light's done for this organisation. I will say, I remember, after Dirk Cutter was let go, I was one of the people on Twitter going, Jason Light needs to go. I'm glad I don't work within the Buccaneers organisation, because if that had been my decision, that we wouldn't be where we are now. He has drafted outstandingly well over the years, and I was going against him constantly with the draft picks we were getting. But look at the team he's brought together. Of course, he was instrumental in Bruce Arians coming to Tampa as well. He's the reason that Bruce Arians is here. He's obviously the reason why, part of the reason why Tom Brady's here, why Rob Gronkowski's here. He was been part of negotiations, put this team together. I haven't got a bad word now to say about Jason Light. Previously, it was different. Now, haven't got a bad word.
David, I'd like your take on this, because what Alex is describing obviously is a trajectory, and we know that players, we don't expect a player to come in at 21 and know everything. They learn, they grow, they develop, they get better. Why should a front office position be any different? So David, he's improved, hasn't he?
Let's be honest, Jason Light didn't come in as a rookie. He was already an experienced general manager. He's been with a lot of big organisations. And, I think definitely in his early tenure, the first 3 years, I think, everybody would be almost consistent in, saying he was almost in last chance saloon until he brought in Arians. But just like the whole organisation, just like Brady, he has turned it around. And you look at the last 3 years' drafts have been spectacular. The free agents that he's brought in has been spectacular. And he hasn't put a foot wrong, has he? And you have to give him kudos for that. You know, he's made some tough decisions along the way as well. You know, getting rid of James and actually making that big change. You know, he's come in and ultimately he's done the job he was paid to do.
You can't draft kickers.
Yeah.
So
You
Phil,
can't draft kickers.
Yeah. So yeah. Aside for drafting kickers, we'll ignore that. So as we've said, Phil, you know, without light, you don't get Arians. What impact has Arians had?
Oh, it's huge. Absolutely huge. First thing he did, I'm always a great fan of these coaches that are not sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's sort of up their own sort of. But he just brought in a huge amount of talent as coaches straight away. You know, Byron Leftwich, he knew from Arizona, and he brought him in and did a good job. Todd Bowles. And everything, he brought them in, and he wasn't afraid to do anything. As in, like, we've got the 2 female coaches as well, and he just went out and just did it. And the you know, and one thing that has surprised me is that it looks like we're going to keep all our coaches for next year, and players, which is huge as far as I'm concerned. Just goes to show you the amount of respect they've got for him, you know. And yeah, and I'll be quite honest. Jay, you wouldn't have come without Jason Light being there, and Jason Light for the last 3 years has been absolutely incredible in drafting. You know, you've got to draft well. I'm not a big fan of free agency, but you've got to draft well and build your team, and that's exactly what he's done over 3 years. You know, if you look at all the picks, there've been some. Well, there's been very few that have been failures apart from kickers, but he's redeemed himself in free agency on kickers. I will go let him off that one, but yeah.
I think with Arians, the fact that, you know, we've had so much chatter about Leftwich and so much chatter about Bowles, and we're coming to talk about Bowles. Now he's assembled that crew, and it feels like we've been on a journey, doesn't it, Pete? Because, you know, a bit like Donovan, you know, at points in the year we've bemoaned the philosophy, or we've bemoaned the play calling, or the adjustments or lack of adjustments. You know, what's the journey been, do you think?
Well, yeah, I think, like I say, we have really, in the early bits, we were really annoyed with the soft coverage and, you know, the lack of decisions, the overthrows. You know, there was a lot of complaining about the calls that were being made. I think with Arians, what I love about him is that he's not afraid to lead the way, like you're saying about the coaches, the female coaches. You know, he isn't afraid to lead the way on the way things should be.
And not just the female coaches, but of course, remember, Bowles, Leftwich, and Godwin, the only 3 coordinators in the league that are all, you know, ethnic minority, BAME.
Yeah, exactly. He's not afraid to do that, and he knows what he wants out of people, and he doesn't care about your race or your gender. As long as you're going to be doing your job, you come in, and I'm going to get the best people to do it. And yeah, in the end, that's what we've had this year. Like you say, we did have some bad moments of where we were unsure about who was actually making the play calls, whether it was Leftwich, whether it was Arians or not. But that seemed to get sorted out in the end, and we found our feet at the right time.
And I remember was it Hard Knocks? I can't remember when they followed him at the Cardinals. He had that little, you know, everyone talks about no risk it, no biscuit, but what sums it up better for me was he had this 10-word phrase, each of 2 letters. He said, "If it is to be, it is up to me." And that was his thing for every single player. Do your job, be accountable, be professional. And that radiated. And I think that passed on through the coordinators, and none more, I think, than Todd Bowles, which is the last guy I'd like us to talk about, because anyone that doesn't attribute a large slice of Super Bowl 55 to Todd Bowles was not watching the game.
No.
I think he wins championships.
Yeah.
And he dialed up such a scheme. He totally destroyed Kansas City, didn't he?
They just didn't know what to do, did they? They looked like rabbit in the headlights when all this was going on, and it was just incredible.
And they've been criticised for not making adjustments, but I think they did make adjustments. They came out in the second half, and they ran the ball a lot more. They tried a lot more passing schemes, and they took it all away.
I don't think you could make an adjustment against our front 7 or whatever, could you? I mean, how much Mahomes was running, it didn't matter what adjustment. Yeah. He can't make an adjustment if he's got a run for 467 yards or whatever it was.
I mean, I've seen it written to me. Basically, Bowles wrote the blueprint on how to beat Kansas City now, and, you know, it's out there.
Yeah.
Adam, again, trick question. If no Bowles, do we win the Super Bowl?
I love these questions. I don't think you could say that for every question we've got. The answer is no. We don't win the Super Bowl without that particular person or player or whatever it is. What superb! I know we've talked a little bit about everyone coming into form during the playoffs and when it counted. The same with the defense and the scheme. Flawless. The last couple of games, absolutely brilliant. And it's probably starting from that almost shutout against Detroit Lions. The defense played amazing every single game right up to the Super Bowl. Absolutely brilliant. And of course, Todd Bowles got a massive part of that.
So you can see from the heated debate just how much we care about our Buccaneer of the Year and how, in a year when you win the Super Bowl, unsurprisingly, there's a lot of valid contenders. But let's see who this year's winner is. The Bucs UK Buccaneer of the Year is Brian Ford.
Yeah, well done, excellent.
Yeah. Well, Brian, we love you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Brian is that he's not just part of the organisation. He's a genuine friend to us.
He is.
And, I'm just absolutely delighted for that.
And that is Brian's third time of winning Buccaneer of the Year.
Wow.
I don't know if the World Cup trophy rules apply. At some point, he's going to get to keep the award, or we're gonna have to name it after him or something. But Brian, thank you so much. To our members, thank you so much. This now kind of draws a line under what I think has been, certainly the joint best season the Bucs have ever had. 2002/03 Super Bowl winners. For the club, we've had, more than 400 members, the most members we've ever had, more than 5,000 Twitter followers, the most posts on the forum during games, the most members. It's been amazing. And it's all thanks to you guys, our members. So thank you. Whilst this draws a line under the season, we don't stop. We're straight into next year. Pete, tell us, 17-0, is it a possibility?
I'm not getting into calling next year just yet. I'm going to see what happens in the off season. Yeah, we all know what we want to happen, but I can't even call it yet.
Brilliant. So again, we know we're not stopping. We keep talking. We keep buying the merchandise till our bank balances are bleeding. So come on, go to Bucs UK. Go to bucsuk.org. Click on join. It's never too late to get involved. Please do join in. If you're in the UK, we want to hear from you. If you're not in the UK, join our forum, chat with us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Insta, comment on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, all of that stuff. And we'd love to hear from you. And thank you. And we'll see you all next year. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye all.